Hey, folks, welcome to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. I am your host, Lewis Carlin. Thanks for joining me today. Real quick, if you like what you see, if you like what you hear on our YouTube channel, Alliance Pro Wrestling Network, and you haven't already subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I want to do a quick shout out right now to a subscriber, Circle of Debate Podcast. Check them out on YouTube, Circle of Debate Podcast. Check them out. Subscribe to them as well. They have great content. And thank you, Circle of Debate, for subscribing to the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. Big news today. The WWE have released a huge amount of talent. WWE releases are happening as I speak. As of right now, the biggest name is Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe, the biggest name on that list for wrestlers that have been released. Also released are Peyton Royce, Bo Dallas. Let me scroll down here. Mickey James, Billy Kay, Chelsea Green, Kalisto, Wesley Blake, and Tucker all have been released from the WWE. WWE wishing them the best in their future endeavors. Reporting, actually, I'm reading the article here on Wrestling Inc. It says WWE continues to release talents today as Samoa Joe, Peyton Royce, Bo Dallas are now gone. As noted earlier at this link, WWE wished Mickey James, Billy Kay, Chelsea Green, Kalisto, Wesley Blake, and Tucker their best in their future endeavors. They have since announced Joe, Peyton, and Bo's departures. There's no exact word on what led to each departure as of this writing, but this is likely another round of post-WrestleMania roster cleaning. Joe last wrestled February 2020, but has been doing commentary and while recovering from injuries. He was removed from the Raw team this past Monday. Royce has been with the WWE since April 2015. Bo Dallas hasn't wrestled since Crown Jewel, October 2019, and there's been no explanation for his absence. But a lot of names have been released. Samoa Joe being the biggest name. One name that's on the list that really interests me is Kalisto, because I know Kalisto is incredibly talented. Now, I don't watch the WWE, but I've seen a couple of Kalisto matches. I've seen him on YouTube, and he's really immensely talented. And I'm not sure if he was suffering from any injuries or anything, but he would look great in the Impact Wrestling's X division. I'm just saying. He will look great in Impact Wrestling's X division. I'm sure the Impact Wrestling is looking at a couple of these names. Samoa Joe. He has a huge history with TNA Impact Wrestling. I could see Samoa Joe. Now Samoa Joe is I think he's about 42 years old, and of course he's been recovering from some injuries. But I could see him going back to Impact Wrestling. I'm not saying long term. I'm saying usually when these wrestlers are released, and I'm not sure. I would assume that's a 90-day no compete clause in each contract. But I'm thinking usually when wrestlers are released and they want to. They don't want to sign with a major contract, which is understandable. They'll go to a promotion for like 3 or 4 months. I can see Samoa Joe. Going back to Impact Wrestling. Maybe feud with Moose. Samoa Joe versus Moose. Moose's contract is up in June. Hopefully he'll re-sign with Impact Wrestling. But I can see Samoa Joe going back. Do like the EC3 thing, and he'll go back for a few months. Samoa Joe also has great history with Ring of Honor. I can see him going back to Ring of Honor as well. So I'm sure there'll be a great demand for Samoa Joe. And I'm sure he'll end up somewhere. Could even be AEW. He could show up in AEW, but Samoa Joe's not done. I don't think Samoa Joe's done. Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is also a very talented wrestler, and I never really got going in the WWE from what I understand. Of course, Bray Wyatt's brother. And that's another interesting talent that's been released there, and I could definitely see. I know a lot of these guys and gals will probably want to prove the WWF wrong, or WWE. I'm sorry, I'm wrestling fans in 1978. I occasionally still call it the WWF, just like people still insist on calling Impact Wrestling TNA. So I apologize. The WWE, but there could be a number of wrestlers that want to prove the WWE wrong for letting them go. There's Billy Kay, there's Wesley Blake, there's Peyton Royce as well. The Impact Wrestling, like I said, they need some fresh faces. And Peyton Royce, Billy Kay would be great additions to the Impact Wrestling roster. But then on the flip side of that, look at Ring of Honor. They're looking to get more females into their Ring of Honor women's tournament. I don't know when that's starting, but there's a couple. Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, Chelsea Green would be very good additions to Ring of Honor as well for that women's championship tournament. But again, I'm not sure when that tournament's taking place, and I'm not sure about the 90-day no compete clauses for each of these wrestlers. But I really think that one or two of these wrestlers are going to show up in Impact Wrestling. I would love Kalisto. I love, or even Kalisto even go to the to AEW and align himself with Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. That would be a great. That would be a great combination there. I know they had Laredo Kid was teaming them for a bit. Kalisto could go there and team with Ray Phoenix, or even have a match with Ray Phoenix. I think that would be great as well. But I think he would be great there in the X division. I think he would be a great addition to the X division. Even in MLW, I could see Kalisto going to MLW and feuding with Myron Reed or Leo Rush over the MLW Middleweight Championship. That would be a great. That's a great location for him as well, destination for him as well. So there's a lot of destinations out there, and I'm sure all these promotions right now are going through this list on the talent that's been released. Tucker teaming with Otis. I forgot the name of their team. But I was never really a huge fan of the team, when I was watching NXT. But Tucker released as well. I'm not sure if there's going to be a great demand for Tucker, to be honest. But again, these wrestlers want to prove the WWE wrong, and I'm sure they're going to be looking for new opportunities. But once again, all these releases from the WWE. And like I said, Impact Wrestling loves this stuff. I mean, the last group of releases, they swooped up a whole bunch of wrestlers. I'm sure they're looking at the talent that's been released today, and I'm sure they're drawing up some contracts right now. I'm sure they have people in mind. Like again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Samoa Joe, Peyton Royce, and Billy Kay show up at Impact Wrestling. And like Deonna Purrazzo definitely needs some new challengers. She definitely needs some new challengers. She's got a big match coming up against Tennille Dashwood at Rebellion. But after that, there's really not much left in the Impact Wrestling Knockouts roster. You got Rosemary, you got Jordan Grace, who might be gone in May, but you need some fresh faces in there. I know Eva Lee's was just released. I talked about that yesterday. AEW. I mean, Impact Wrestling, they could get together if they want to get things going again. They could sign Eva Lee's, they could sign Billy Kay, they could sign Peyton Royce, and boom, you got three fresh faces in the Impact Wrestling Knockouts roster. But then again, you think of Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor needs women for that championship tournament that I mentioned, and they're going to be bidding for some of these talents. So that might be a little bidding war for these talents. But then again, these talents, they could wrestle in Impact Wrestling, they could wrestle in Ring of Honor. They don't need a contract. They could go the TJP route, right? Not going to sign an exclusive contract with anybody. I will wrestle for Impact, much like Cody Rhodes did when he first left the WWE. This talent might be doing that. You never know. You might see Billy Kay showing up at Impact Wrestling, and she might show up in the Ring of Honor Championship tournament. Samoa Joe, I think Samoa Joe is going to sign a contract, though. I really think, like I said, I think he's going to sign like a 3-month deal with Impact Wrestling just to go back, and maybe a 3-month deal with Ring of Honor, one of the two, and then sign a long-term deal with AEW. That's what I'm thinking. But nonetheless, man, big day for free agents. Big day for releases in the WWE. And I know Scott D'Amore, like I said earlier, Scott D'Amore and Don Callis, they're all right. More WWE releases. Yeah, we're gonna get some of these guys in Impact Wrestling, WWE talent. I'm sure they're licking their lips. Yeah, I'll ask Stu Hart. Yeah, let's go to the dungeon. But Stu Hart dungeon. Yeah, that was terrible. I apologize for that. But I'm sure all these wrestlers will eventually end up somewhere. And Bo Dallas too. Bo Dallas, I thought Bo Dallas was going to be was going to be a star. I thought he was going to be a star. I mean, he was really good in NXT, never really got going in the WWE, from what I understand. And I mean, you look at, again, I'm using Impact Wrestling because Impact Wrestling, they like to grab some of these guys and give them another opportunity to prove themselves. You look what they just did with Brian Myers. You look what they did previously with EC3. Bo Dallas might get an opportunity with Impact Wrestling and change his character and prove everybody wrong and show everybody that he is the star that he knows he could be, and become a star in Impact Wrestling or Ring of Honor or MLW or AEW. There's a lot of opportunity right now, and the pandemic's ending, so a lot of opportunity out there for these current releases. And like I said, I'm sure they're all going to end up somewhere. I'm sure they have a destination where they're all going to end up in. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you very much for listening to me today. I'm Lewis Carlin. This is the Alliance Pro Wrestling Network. And until next time, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. And stay safe, everyone. So long. Bye-bye.